Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Tuesday, the 4th of May. Hi, I'm Paul. I'll be your host this morning here on New Zealand Sports Radio. In the news today, we'll catch up with the IndyCar racing as the was a double header at the weekend, and the second race happened yesterday morning New Zealand time. We'll also be able to speak with the golf, where Danny Lee is in action over in the PGA. There's netball action as well as basketball action with the NBL over in Australia, where the Breakers played yesterday, and also the NBA over in the USA. And also we'll bring up speed with the cricket news as well. Starting off with the cricket news then, and over in India, in the IPL, the game between the Kolkata Knight Riders and the Royal Challengers of Bangalore had to be postponed as two players from the Knight Riders had tested positive for COVID-19. Apparently, one of the players had left the biosecurity bubble to go for a scan on a shoulder issue, and they obviously are being isolated and will be tested daily. All the rest of the players from the team have tested negative, but that meant the game had to be called off over there in India. Three players over in the IPL have, or for Australians, Andrew Tye, Adam Zampa, and Kane Richardson, all have flown home early from India because of the concerns over the virus over there, as India recorded its highest number of deaths due to COVID recently or yesterday. So we wish them all, obviously, those two players to the best of health, and hopefully everyone else is okay over there in India in the IPL. Also in cricket, we have the final of that test match between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Going into the final day, Bangladesh had 5 wickets remaining and was batting to try and save the match. They didn't achieve that as Jaya Wickram took 5 wickets in the second innings after taking 6 in the first, to take player of the match in that one there, as Bangladesh were all bowled out for 227, meaning that they lost the game by 209 runs. So a good win there for Sri Lanka in the second test match of the of that series. Moving on then to the golf, and over in the PGA, it was the Valspar Championship, and Danny Lee faded a bit, finishing tied 21st after shooting 1 over par in the 4th round. A decent result for him, finishing making the cut and finishing the top 21 or tied 21st. But a shame that he faded a bit in that 4th round there. Sticking in the States and in the IndyCar, we had the XPEL 375, which was the second race of the weekend. In the first race, we'd had the Kiwi 1-2 with Scott Dixon winning and Scott McLaughlin in second place. They couldn't repeat that feat, unfortunately. Scott Dixon started on pole and led for 163 of the laps, but couldn't finish it off. Pato O'Ward, the Mexican, won his first ever race. It's in that one, leading for 25 laps, maybe towards the end there. Scott Dixon finished 4th and leads the overall standings by 22 points. Scott McLaughlin, another decent outing for him in his fourth ever race of the season in his debut year. I think he had one race last year as well, didn't he? And he finished 8th there. The last driver to be on the wrong one there. But he'd yet to be on the on the same lap as the leaders. Other drivers were there, were on the same lap, sorry. But decent result by Scott McLaughlin there as well. Staying over in the States and moving on to the NBA, and we had 8 games yesterday. The Pelicans weren't in action. They'll be in action today at 11 p.m. against the Warriors. But some key results from yesterday. So the Raptors beat the Lakers 121 to 114. The Bucks beat the Nets 117 to 114. And the 76ers beat the Spurs 113 to 111. That win by the Bucks over the Nets means that they're in third place in the Eastern Conference behind the 76ers and the Nets, but still have not quite clinched their playoff position like the top two have. The Knicks are in fourth place. They're also on a 2-game winning streak. Over on the Western Conference, and the Suns and the Jazz have claimed their playoff places. The Nuggets are in third and the Clippers in fourth. The Clippers also have now clinched a playoff place, but the Nuggets in third have not, who are on a 5-game winning streak. All to do with the conferences, folks, over there in the NBA. Switching over to the NBL then, basketball action in Australia, and the Breakers took on the mid-table Hawks. There, they came out firing, so we got a 5-point lead in the first quarter, only to be all tied up at half-time. In the second quarter, the Hawks came out in the second half, the Hawks came out the stronger, winning both quarters to finish to win the game 75-67 in the end there. For the Breakers, the Ty Webster with 14 points and Thomas Abercrombie with 14 points led the way. McDowell White also chipped in with 13 points there as well. For the Hawks, the man that did the damage was Tyler Harvey with 29 points in that one. That still means that the Breakers still are second from bottom in the table, in 8th place there in the NBL, having a tough time of it over in Australia. That means you've now. We've missed off the netball action. Sorry very much. Apologise for that one. Yesterday, the Mystics took on the Tactics, and boy, this was a tight one. With the Mystics beating the Tactics by just 1 point, 53 to 52 points. That means the Tactics are still the only team that haven't won a game yet this season. For the Mystics, that puts them in second place with 2 wins and a loss so far. The Northern Stars lead with the 3 wins from their 3 games, the only undefeated team at the top there. You have now started the day the best way up to speed with all the important sports news. Join us back here at 8 p.m. this evening for the Driving Wall Show, where we'll go through all of the hot topics in rugby, as well as I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for the morning sports briefing.